You come to Pittsburgh, you meet the greats, you meet the legends. There were many of them on stage last night. There's one of them here at the table with us. Seth's just been chopping up with them for the entire break. It's Rod Woodson. What's up, baby? How we doing, Rod?
I'm doing good. It's good seeing you, man.
It's great to see you, too. Look at this. Pittsburgh, the skies are blue, the picks are in. What'd you think of last night? Was it cool for you?
You know what? I'm so happy that the city got the draft.
Yeah.
So many great players have come through here, and the city's kind of reinvented itself, being a tech city from an industrial city.
Yeah.
And it's you can feel the buzz from the locals coming and being back here and coming in and seeing how many fans were there last night. And I'm like looking at it from afar, and I'm like, oh my God, it is packed down there. So it's a wonderful to see that the draft came over at this place.
What did you think of the pick? What did you think of the Steelers pick, Maxore? What did you feel about that one?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I thought it was going to be a quarterback O-line, you know, and when you look at what they need several positions. That was one of them.
Yep.
So you got to fill those needs. You fill those needs, and then you got to keep moving on. Hopefully that guy can be that sustainable guy for the next 10 years.
Yeah. So they went with the tackle. They did not go with a quarterback.
Yeah.
So I'm left.
So you thinking Aaron?
I'm left to ask you.
Thinking Aaron's coming back?
Is Aaron Rodgers the best option for the Steelers at quarterback for this season? Let's just talk about this season.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking it's very similar to last year. I think they got a mutual agreement because him and Mike they got history, right? So I think there's a mutual agreement somewhere along the line where he will be back eventually if he does want to play, and he's going to be the guy. If not, if they believe in Will Howard, they should squash Aaron Rodgers talk and say Will's our guy.
Yep.
But they haven't. So in my mind, you know, conspiracy theories,
of course,
you know, is like I'm thinking Aaron's going to come back somewhere right before camp starts, and then, you know, we'll learn from that, and then we'll take over next year.
I'm looking to find anybody in any walk of life who thinks Rodgers won't start at quarterback for them this year. I haven't found it, Rod.
No.
Yeah.
And when they say, well, the Steelers haven't heard, that's what the reporters are saying, which I believe. I feel like the Steelers maybe are keeping that to themselves. But something happened last night that was very strange. In the first round, you got this great-looking wide receiver, Mekhi Lemon, okay? He is on the phone with Pittsburgh, and he thinks, and his family started to celebrate because he's going to become a Steeler, and then he becomes an Eagle. We've seen a lot in the draft. We've never really seen something like this.
Come on, man. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, why Philly color? Yeah.
Oh, Philly just traded for you.
Hello?
This is Philly. They just traded for you. Philly's picking you right now.
Why is Philly coming? Why is Philly? They just traded for you. You're not going to become a Steeler. Take the hat off. What'd you think?
I mean, you don't see that often on draft day, right? No. Normally it's going to happen hours beforehand or days beforehand, weeks beforehand. But, you know, for him, he has an opportunity. I mean, he's going to a good team.
Yep.
You know, and he has a really good quarterback, solid football team, a good running back. So, I mean, it's sometimes the cards fall where they fall, and it's your fate.
Yeah, so yesterday we had 4 DB safeties come off the board in the first round. That's a big number. What advice do you have for these young cats going from the college game to the pro game?
It's just faster. I mean, it's, you know, you got to believe you belong. That's the first thing. So you got to believe in the person that you see in the mirror. That's the first thing. Secondly, you got to believe and understand that the game is faster. So these are like the best athletes in the world. But the key, this is what Chuck Noll told me back in 1987. Everybody's athletic. Everybody has some sort of talent. That's why we draft you.
Yep.
Right? So we're getting you because of that. But it's the players who can take their self-study, their study from their coaches, their studies from their peers, learning stuff from different individuals, and putting that on your tool belt. And as you put it on your tool belt, you become an apprentice, and then over the years, you become that master carpenter.
Yeah.
But once you become that master carpenter, and that's when you're that guy. And if you can keep doing that week in and week out, practice after practice, rep after rep, those guys separate themselves from the guys who play 3 to 5 years, 5 to 10 years, the Pro Bowlers, and then the Hall of Famers.
Is Mike McCarthy a master carpenter? Because, Rod, it seems when you ask someone what they think of him as the Steelers head coach, they're like, well, he's from here. And, like, honestly, who cares if they're 0-2? You know what I mean? Like, we need someone to win games. Is that the guy?
We're going to find out.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna either prove them right or prove them wrong. So I mean, they brought him in. The one thing is, it's just different than what the Steelers have ever done before, right? So every coach that came in was a young coach.
Yep.
He was here for quite a long time. Mike's not a young coach, but he has the wherewithal. He has a different system than what they're normally used to here in Pittsburgh. So it's going to be interesting to see, you're talking to Pat Fryermuth, so it's going to be interesting to see how the system unfolds and how the city or the players themselves in the locker room adhere to it.
Yeah, you had a personal experience with this because you were on the squad when Chuck Noll resigned.
Sure.
Coach Cowher takes over. What's that like as a player, that transition when you go from one coach who's been here forever, and then you're switching to a new young guy, and the system changes? And what's your mindset like going through a coaching change like that?
Well, I mean, Chuck, I was his last 5 years of coaching.
Yep.
So Chuck was a kind of a master guide, and he would more getting us ready for life after football.
Okay.
Right. So he would do that, but he got us ready for football because he was old school. And then when Bill came in, Bill was football. Like we are football. But what you learned from Bill is like he had a game plan, especially when you're like a special team, because he was a special team coach, defensive coach, and normally defensive coaches have a different mindset as a head coach than offensive coaches. And so it's more of a run first approach, and with a tough defense, a tough gritty defense, where you go, Mike McCarthy's an offensive guy, so is it going to be a run first, which Pittsburgh's always been a run first offense,
that's right.
Right? Besides last year, but a run first offense normally, and a tough physical defense hitting people in the mouth. So we got to see where it unfolds with that. If Aaron does come back, it's not going to be a run first offense, right? It's going to be a pass first offense, secondary run, and you still got that physical defense.
Legend has it that this is a photograph of Chuck Noll reacting to the Steelers taking this young corner out of Purdue in 1987. He looked really happy, Rod.
Look at that face.
Yeah, he was happy for a while until I didn't show up for 5 months.
Oh, how dare you? Where's that picture?
And then he was mad. And then he's like, we don't care. So he can run in shorts.
Yeah.
Who cares? Can he play football?
Oh, man.
He said that too. But, I love Chuck. He taught me a lot. He got me thinking about getting on my life's work after football early on in my career.
Yeah. And
then when Bill came in, it was all football.
Yeah.
Then it clicked in. That seed was planted, and I'm like, what do I want to do when I'm done playing football?
Yes.
So he was a blessing for me. It was a blessing to be here for 10 years.
Seth, do you want to take a second and talk about this man in Tecmo Bowl?
Oh, I told him this before, and I know he hates it because it ages him. But I'm at the stage where I get aged as well.
Yeah.
20 years in the wrestling career, so I get it. But man, everybody talks about Bo Jackson as the stud in Tecmo Bowl. This was my guy in Tecmo Bowl. I would trade for him every single. I'd play with a '94 49ers Tecmo Super Bowl II. I would get Rod Woodson. I'd bring him on. He'd be opposite Dion, and then I would have him return kicks. He was so fast, you could not catch him. This was my guy.
I tell you what. I go into Baltimore, so I leave here, go to San Francisco. San Francisco, I go to Baltimore. First day in the locker room. Guys come up to me and say, "Man, you are great in Tecmo Bowl." And I'm like, and then they called me Mr. Woodson. I said, "Oh, no, Mr. Woodson's my daddy. Like, I am not Mr. Woodson. I'm Wood. Like, call me something else, but you're not calling me Mr. Woodson in this place."
That's Wood right there. That's Wood.
is.
We love him. Thank you for coming by. You really are a legend here and so many other places, including in the old 16-bit games, or maybe it was 8-bit back
32-bit,
then. 32-bit,
maybe, I
excuse
think.
me.
Yeah.
Right, do the math. Thank you very much.
It. Thank
Appreciate you.
Thank
Rod
you,
Woodson is always fun to talk
man.
to,
Thank you.
especially here in Pittsburgh. More Good Morning Football after this. There he goes on that AstroTurf, baby.
Boom. Oh, that stuff hurt.